I'm just going to leave the museum, and my bike is totally dead. Can't even give it any throttle without it wanting to die. Do you know anybody who can rescue me? Okay, alright. I'm freaking stranded in Salmon Arm. So sketchy. Johnny let me down. So I'm gonna call my old boss from Harley Davidson and see if he's able to help me out.
You're trying to reach is not available.
Running across the street to try to freaking figure my life out now. Vitamin water. Some freaking vitamins.
Did you contact any mechanic nearby?
My sister's gonna try to come and get me.
Okay.
So hopefully she's able to. Grimy gas station bathroom. This bathroom is so gross. Like, I don't even want to put my backpack up here, but it's better than the floor. First time I've ever been stranded. Like, real life stranded. So my sister is coming to save me. I'm gonna push my bike around the back of the building. I'm hoping my sister brought a ramp. I think this spot here should be good for loading, hopefully. Just a little bit of momentum. Now it's hurry up and wait time. My bike won't start, so Johnny let me down. First time I've ever been stranded in 12 years of riding. I'm gonna be here for a couple hours, so I've got plenty of time to spare. And I'll watch the sunset, I guess. Have a little vitamin water picnic, and that's not too bad of a view for being stranded. Beautiful sunset. Okay, it's pretty dark out now, and it's pretty chilly. I'm glad I brought my leather jacket today and wore 2 pairs of pants. But my sisters are like half an hour away, so I'm gonna walk across the highway and use this nasty gas station bathroom. Be safe, bike. I'll be back for you. Seriously, this is the nastiest freaking bathroom. I'd rather be in the bush.
I'll give you a discount for $2.50 if
Really?
you want it. Yeah.
Last gas station stop of the trip. Gonna fuel up the truck. Bike's doing good after the dirt road. Straps still tight. Tire looking a little low. Truck looking a little old manish. We're home. I am freaking tired. Dang, Johnny. He's supposed to be the reliable one. I guess I should have been riding my shovel head. Because it probably would have started for me. There is old Johnny back there waiting to be worked on. So I've already done a couple of tests just to see what's going on. And so far I know nothing. So first of all, I checked my battery voltage just to see what it was at. And the battery actually reads 12.8. And I disconnected my negative lead just so that I could check for any kind of short by just grabbing the negative and touching it, seeing if I get a spark, but there's no spark with the ignition off or on. So I know that there can't be a short in there. Okay, so I've got my battery hooked back up again. So the battery reads 12.8, which is plenty to start the bike. As soon as I turn the ignition on, watch, it goes all the way down to 0.3 volts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the battery out of the shovel head because it's a good battery, it's brand new. And I'm gonna put that in my Dyna just so that I have a battery that I know is good. And then with a good battery, I can try to start the bike and then I can test the rest of my charging system. So to get the batteries out of these Dynas, you gotta actually undo a couple bolts back here behind the battery, and then the whole tray kind of drops down, and you can pull your battery out. So the battery's just kind of like held in by the frame. So those two bolts you gotta loosen off, and then you got one more bolt in here, and you can turn it right to raise the battery, turn it left to lower the battery. Okay, that bolt right there. Okay, I've got the shovel head battery in here, so I know this battery's good. We got a positive to the positive, negative. So that's reading 12.3. And if I turn my ignition on, now it's reading 11.9, which is normal. So I need a new battery. All right, I went and got myself a good battery, and I'm all set up, ready to test my regulator. You can't test your regulator without a good battery. So I'm gonna test my regulator, and I have a slight feeling that that might be what it is. So this is just a super simple test you can do with a multimeter, just to kind of generically test your regulator. There's other tests you can do for your regulator too, but this is just to see whether it's actually regulating the voltage that it's putting into your battery. So I've got my multimeter. I'm gonna set it to 12 volts. I have my multimeter cables hooked up here. So I've just got them touching the battery post. They're just kind of, yeah, this one's just held on with a vice grip. It's nice to have two people to do this, but I don't have someone to help me right now. I'm gonna start the bike. I'm gonna hold it around what should be around like 2,000 RPM. The voltage regulator should be putting out between 13 and 15 volts, and anything higher or lower means you have a bad regulator. Ignition is on, so battery's gonna drop a little bit. So yeah, it's definitely putting out more than it should be. So I'm pretty sure I need a new voltage regulator. It is what it is, I guess. That's the life on bikes. Grocery money on our bike card. $89.50. You love your motorcycle when you spend the rest of your grocery money on parts to fix your motorcycle. Either that or you have like a mental condition. I'm pretty sure it's a mix of both with me. Anyway, off to the grocery store to spend my change on some groceries. Lucky for me that Conquer had this on the shelf there, so I don't actually have to wait for parts to show up. It's actually not that expensive of a part. I was just hoping to not have to buy parts right now after buying like a $200 and something battery. Anyway, I'm glad it's just my regulator and it's not something like my stator. And I know that a lot of people are saying if I'm going to change one, I should change them both. Well, I'm not going to change them both, and I'm not going to take my whole bike apart right now if I don't have to. So I'm just going to do a quick ohms test and a ground test on my stator with my multimeter. It's pretty easy to test your stator just to make sure that it's not grounded out and that it's providing the proper kind of resistance that your stator should. So I'm gonna first make sure that my stator's not grounding out on the motor. So to do that, I just wanna stick one of these prongs into the plug where the regulator would plug into, and then one of them I'll ground out to the motor. So stick one of these into the plug, ground the motor, and I don't want to have any numbers showing up on the multimeter. And yeah, so you can see it's still, there's nothing showing up. If there were to be any numbers on there at all, that would mean my stator's grounding out, and that would be bad news. I'm gonna do another continuity test, and that's just by sticking each of these prongs into the plug, so it doesn't matter which one goes in what side of the plug. So I'll just stick these into each side of my plug here. I'm getting like 0.4 ohms. That number there, my screen's kind of buggered up on this thing, so I could do one more test on here. I'm not gonna do it right now. If your battery's not getting enough power, you can stick this in here and test to see if the lack of power is because your stator's bad. You would stick these in here and test the amperage that's coming out. If it's not putting out the proper amount of amperage, then it's not going to be charging your battery. But mine's getting too much voltage, so I know that it's charging my battery. I know that it's not an issue with my stator, it's my rectifier, because my rectifier should be regulating the amount of DC volts that my battery is getting, which it's not doing. So our new regulator is the next thing on the list, and that'll be a project for another video. So I hope you guys liked this video. And like always, my lovely YouTube people, if you like what you see, or if you just like me, or even if you don't like me but you like my bikes, then like, comment, subscribe, do all those things you guys do. And like always, my lovely YouTube people, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. Nightmares come true at Dream Cycle. Dun, dun, dun. Nightmares. I'm gonna cross this highway Frogger style, and hopefully better than I was at playing Frogger as a kid. Put everything on top of this dumpster, I guess. I just look like a head floating in the dark. Gross in there, dudes. Like, the guy inside's nice enough, but bathroom's frickin' disgusting. Darn bike, man. Bad bike. Bad bike. Figure out what's wrong with this flippin' bike. You killed that bird over there, didn't you, Tiny? We always make it out alive.